St. John Park Board. We all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Tyler, if we could have roll call, please.
John Boersma.
Here.
Mike Moffett.
Here.
Mike Bovat.
Here.
Tyler McLeod present. Pat Connolly absent. Chris Salatis.
Present.
Nicole Bennett.
Present.
Also present, Maintenance Foreman Gabe Hernandez and Wayne Pondinas absent.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to move to number 4, approval of minutes for Tuesday, July 20th, 2021, consideration of approval of minutes.
So moved.
I'll second that.
That's a motion by Mike Moffett, second by John Boersma. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
Come on in, Mr. Conley.
Also present, Pat Connolly.
Patrick is here. Good to see you.
I apologize, gentlemen
No, we're good.
and ladies.
And there's your
Thank you very
minutes.
much. Thank
We
you,
just went to the approval of minutes. Patrick, we're moving now to item 5, new business. A, approval of independent contractor agreements. Mr. Tyler?
Yeah, so these are a few agreements for some upcoming programs we have. A few more details on those. There's a Bricks for Kids programs where kids will learn, build, and play with Legos. And they'll learn different skills related to architecture, engineering, and construction. The company, they provide all the supplies and also have trained instructors. The program is for grades 1 through 6 and ages 6 through 12. And these are 6-week sessions that take us all the way through June of next year. And they're also planning on some winter camps that are in accordance with the school schedule. There's also a Young Rembrandts, which is an elementary drawing program that is for basic to advanced drawing skills. And again, they provide all the supplies and trained instructors. And these sessions take us through May of next year. And they're also planning some winter camps with that. So basically just looking for ways to utilize the space we have and expand our current offerings. So yeah, these programs would be Mondays and Thursdays at the park office.
It looks outstanding.
Is this something that'll go in like a mailer?
Yeah, it's gonna be a little blurb will be on the utility bill. It'll also be plugged on our website and social media.
And as of yet, there's nothing out there right now, so we haven't had a response or anything.
No, this was just just finalized recently
Right.
for
And then
the approval.
bringing it here
Yeah.
for our approval.
Yep.
It'd be interesting to see how we respond to that. It looks really, really good. Looks exciting. Consideration for approval of the independent contractor agreements.
So moved.
I'll second that.
That's a motion by Mike Moffett, second by John Boersma. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Also wanted to mention, I had a productive conversation recently with Kathy LaRue, who's the township trustee, on utilizing their facility, their township community center, for special events or potentially some ongoing programming as well. Just continue to seek out those partnership opportunities. Right now, we're a little limited on our indoor space, so we're trying to find solutions to that.
Thank you for that, Tyler. Moving to item 6, old business. A, Gates Skate Park. Mr. Tyler?
Yeah, so received kind of discouraging update from Spine Ranch today. I wanted to relay to the board. The steel fabrication is still in process, but the crew assigned to the project is coming from Buffalo, New York, and I was told that they're shorthanded up there right now. I guess a few of their members tested positive for COVID, and for those reasons and a few others, they're experiencing delays with that project. As far as the timeline goes, Spahn still intends to mobilize soon and complete the job this year. And then we could then have a formal grand opening in early spring, but they will know a definitive timeline as it relates to their crew within the next week or two. Kind of stepping back and going through the history, how we got here. So the contract was executed in April, and at that time we were told that we were looking at a July mobilization. There were some delays in completing the needed geotechnical work, and at that time we were given an August mobilization. Now we're, this information about a delay to their crew, and that's becoming a September mobilization now. So some concerns I have, is if they mobilize in late September, best case scenario with that latest update, are they going to have enough time to complete the project before weather becomes an issue? In reading between the lines with Adam today, I can sense that's becoming a concern on their end as well. But again, the fear I have is if we move forward with a late September mobilization, best case, and the project experiences any weather-related issues. We all know how unpredictable Indiana is in that regard. What if we progress all the way up to the point where concrete needs poured and then it becomes too cold?
What was the timeline? Didn't they have a timeline of when the concrete would have been poured?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. Off the top of your head. I was just wondering because.
It was definitely late fall.
It's
Yeah.
going to be late fall.
Yeah, it was an issue of
Right, so
humidity
now
and
if
all of
it's-
that as being a good
Being
thing.
pushed and pushed, I agree.
And, or what if, again, that scenario plays out and we're left with a construction site with a hole in the ground through winter? Or what if the concrete is poured and doesn't cure correctly because cold weather hits and then the integrity of it is compromised? It's like for these reasons, I'm leaning towards, as much of a bummer as it is, maybe we should push for an early spring groundbreaking at this point.
I totally agree with you.
Fines? Would there be any fines or anything with that, or?
I think you need to defer to them. This is what they do, and I
Mhm.
don't see, for liability reasons for them and their reputation, that they would dig that hole if they don't think they're going to get it closed. But I do think what you're dealing with is what's COVID, what's weather out east, with those things that are obviously affecting them, but my assumption. My assumption is that they'll probably back you up even more if that's a greater concern. But that's why I was just looking at their contract, and obviously those are conditions on
Doing that in like October, November.
their timeline,
Pushing it back.
to complete project based upon availability of materials, labor agreements, labor for, all of these other things that are experiencing delay and other, deadlines with that. I mean, that's typical contract language that they have written right in here, so my assumption is that once they have things more pinned down, but I would definitely request that from them
Mm-hmm.
and have that discussion with Adam specifically of those concerns, because I think maybe
Mm-hmm.
they're at a wait and see right now versus wanting to air that, and I think for you to
Right.
bring that up to them is, letting them progress, and maybe there's other things that they can do in the meantime that,
Mm-hmm.
prepare that, but I don't see that they're not gonna move forward and leave that open for their own liability and their own reputation.
Right.
Gabe, correct me if I'm wrong, but concrete can be poured and cured at 20 degrees, right? Is it 20, do you know?
I'm not sure of the exact temperature. I know that's not ideal. I've dealt with this in the past with the town-related issues.
Yeah.
We poured concrete in February for Prairie West. That was building a small tent over it, keeping kerosene fuels
Yeah.
going.
Push,
20
yeah,
miles
push the
a day.
button.
Don't want to do, right?
Um,
Oh, you gotta turn the mic on.
Hello? So yeah, I'm not sure of the exact temperatures. I am with Tyler on his lead on it as this is a big project for us. No one takes this lightly. The board, no one. Me, Tyler. We want to make sure this is a home run. We don't want to just
Right.
rush it through and then in 5 years be like we should have waited. Again, we'll take the lead of our council advice and wait to see what they say, but I don't want to pressure anyone to doing something they're not comfortable with. A lot of times these people know what they're doing. They don't want to tell you no until they have to tell you no. It's not ideal. Everyone wants to see it happen right away.
Yeah.
It's not something that you want your name stamped to and then not be the best product that we can put out.
Realistically, with a potential, early spring mobilization, which is worst case at this point, we would only be out probably 4 to 6 weeks of legitimate skating time compared to where we're at now, with it being potentially, if they were to start today, we'd be looking at probably a November completion. And once winter comes around, maybe there'd have been a little bit of a time there to legit skating time. I mean, I know that they're going to be out there with shovels regardless, if it snows.
Right.
But I guess as far as legit skating time goes, maybe early November might have been, a possibility, and then late February, early March. So maybe 4 to 6 weeks we'd be out at this point if we had to push it back to early spring.
Yeah, well,
But I agree with Nicole. I was just trying to process this information. I got the update probably 2 hours ago. And it's just kind of trying to piece it together to see what's best for us, going forward here.
Well, I'm of the opinion too that, I don't want to rush it, but I kind of know where you're at too, Johnny. I mean, I know we can do things, but, how much are we going to inhibit people that want to utilize it? I get all that, but you think he can come back with an option or alternative? Has he mentioned anything like that?
I think he said that they will know one way or the other within the next couple weeks. It's going to get to the point where it's either going to happen this year or it's not, and I think that they'll know one way or the other, I think, within the next few weeks.
And I'd kind of feel good with that if I know that we're the priority come spring, that we are the priority.
He did mention that as well, that if it comes to that, we would be put at the top of the list.
Have to, yeah.
So.
Or an option could be, then, if you wait to the spring, you got 18 inches of frozen ground. How long will that delay them to dig? If they were to dig the hole, somehow secure it, wait to the concrete, just might be an option. If they could secure it, obviously, but I think that would be,
Yeah, but they might not want to take that liability because it's going to be a big hole.
well, right. Yeah.
I think you just need to have the communication with them. This is not their first rodeo.
They'll make the
I
decision.
mean, this is what they do. So I don't see in any way that they will mobilize. They don't, want to risk the town, the project, their reputation, all of that. And I think that they may be able to give you, Tyler, a drop dead date in the sense of we have to do X, Y, and Z by this date or we're done, or we have to get to a certain point, before we're stopped for the season. If we can't mobilize by a certain point, then we're done because we can't, those are the kinds of things that, and they're all hypotheticals because my guess is as long as, they're in a situation if they can't get people out of New York, whether it's been because of, storms, weather, COVID, you name it. I mean, they could be hitting additional delays that are gonna cause trouble, but what I don't want to see happen is that by this contract, the penalties that are in here, if it's for any delay on the town's part,
No,
because you're trusting their engineers and their people to progress through this and act accordingly, with that, so. And obviously, in here is what they hit with any impeding to the progress based upon their workforce, and product, which is, like I said before, all standard language, so I really recommend you just kind of get more frank conversation, or have more frank conversations with him, and kind of at a wait and see at this point.
Okay, thank you for that. Any other comments, anyone? Any questions? That's a good update, Tyler, appreciate that.
Well, one item I did include in your packets are potential rules for the skate park. I feel like we'll have a lot of time to review some of these logistical related items potentially. But these are, some rules I put together, I drafted up, and I researched rules and policies from several other skate parks. And Spawn Ranch actually sent us a copy of a document of some rules they've seen at some of their other projects as well. And I kind of pulled from all that information to create this form in front of you here. It has both safety and etiquette guidelines. And then there's some items on here that will have to be that will be dependent on what the rules that we finalize within our parks as a whole that we're still working on. But this will be, once it's finalized, posted on signage in a few different areas at the park.
Are you wanting us to move on this or something, or?
Oh, I'm sorry, no, we don't need action now. So just to let you guys know, Nicole and I, we're working on that, the park rules. There's a pretty large document that we're looking at right now that, once we get it cleaned up and meet with the police to get their input, we'll have it for you to review and potentially approve here pretty soon. And perhaps at that point, we can include, what you have here in front of you as it relates specifically to the skate park.
Thank you for that. Anything else, Tyler?
Nope.
Move to 6, old business, B, Founders Park.
So the state grant agreement with the DNR was executed recently by our president. NIPSCO, they finished the repair work to the line that was hit back by the lift station. This week, earthwork is scheduled to be complete, as well as the construction of the boardwalk. And then concrete work is scheduled to be complete by August 30th. The playground is shipping out on August 27th, and that is going to be installed next week as well. So that, by the end of next week.
Does it look like that's kind of staying on pace for where you think it should be, or?
Well, the updates we've received is that there's going to be substantial completion by the end of September, and some of those items leading up to that have been pushed back. But if you look out there, it looks like it's moving pretty slow. But this was the update we were given last week, that these items would be complete by these dates. So,
Okay. Anything else, gentlemen, on that? Moving on to item 7, reports and correspondence. A, board members? Anyone? B, the staff?
I've got a few more items. So our seasonal staff, they wrapped up on August 6th. They tackled a lot of different projects this summer, but it was a very productive few months with them. So We were sad to see him go. A few upcoming events. So our fishing derby is scheduled for Saturday, September 25th from 8 to 11. That's going to be at Prairie West Park, and that's open for ages 3 to 15. And various prizes will be given to those age groups. And September 25th is actually a DNR free fishing day, so any parents that want to fish as well don't need a license that day. Our Halloween-themed event, Boo Bash, that's scheduled for Saturday, October 23rd from 10 to noon. That's also at Prairie West Park. We'll have a trunk or treat, games, train rides, pumpkin decorating, and more. And we're signing up vendors for the trunk or treat. So if you guys know of anybody that has an attractive tent and a decked out golf cart, they're welcome to participate.
Nice.
Yeah,
What day was that again?
October 23rd.
23rd, okay. Sure. Feel the heat.
Got nothing else going on, right?
I'll be there. No, I'm bored. I'll do it.
Oh, thank you, John.
Yep. It's all yours.
Anything else, Tyler?
No, that's it.
You got what you wanted there?
Something Tyler reached out to me before and kind of just slipped under us, Tyler, and I know I squirreled with the fishing with the vets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so this fishing derby, and then you said parents are more than welcome to. I think I mentioned this to you, but I have 150 rods and reels. I don't have a stand for them. Bass Pro Shops donated them to me. So if it's something that you're interested in, taking some, keeping them out there. So if a parent does want to come out with their kid and fish, and they don't have a pole, there's poles readily available because he had mentioned about fishing with the vets. You know, I was going to start a program and says, you know, hey, any vet that wants to fish, don't worry about tackle or anything. We got it. Come on out and fishing. It just kind of slipped us, but that could be an extension. And
Sure.
If you want some of them poles, I've literally got probably 150 of them. So they probably would need new line and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
if you're more than welcome to have some. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do with 150 of them. So if it can go to good use, you know, then so be it.
Sure.
Just keep that in mind. I do have a shitload,
Yeah, because you might even have some kids,
a buttload.
might even have some kids that don't even have a fishing pole.
Right. Even some little kids don't have poles. Maybe sorry.
Right.
Scratch that.
Put that in the minutes.
But yes, I do have a bunch if you need it. Let's
Sure.
move on.
How many?
He's setting me up. He goes, how many do you have?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I'd be,
It's something that Tyler, we could talk about though in the future for next year.
Absolutely,
For
yeah.
fishing with the veterans.
Absolutely. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
sounds good. Anything else, Tyler?
No, sir.
All right, thank you for that, Johnny. Town council liaison is not here. Any other comments then? Move to item 8, payment of the bills. We have accounts payable of $45,552.88. Like to have consideration of payment in that amount.
So moved.
I will second it.
It's a motion by Mike Moffett and a second by John Boersma. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
Number 9, public comment. Any comments from anyone? Gabe? All righty.
Gabe's a little tired from being in his pool.
Not bad.